Hello sewing people of the internet. In this video I want to share with you another fanny pack that I made that I'm really proud of. I have a little bit of trepidation about sharing this with you though, because I know some people that watch my channel may not really like guns very much. So I just want to let you know that this bag is made to concealed carry a gun. If you have a really strong opinion against guns, I'd love it if you at least let me explain my perspective on why I'm using this to maybe give you a little bit better understanding. If this isn't your thing and you want to click out of here and come back to the next video, please come back to the next video. I don't do a lot of gun content, but I'm really happy with how this pack turned out and I'm really excited to show it to you. I didn't film any of the construction of this pack. It's actually pretty much the same as the previous fanny pack video that I did. I'll put a link to that video here. So if you're thinking about making a fanny pack, I would definitely check that video out, but you might want to see some of the ideas I incorporated into this one. Funny thing, when I made the first fanny pack, I think I commented in that video that I didn't know if I was going to really use it. I'm old enough to remember when fanny packs were a fad the first time, and when they started to have a resurgence, I was pretty skeptical about whether they would stick around. But man, honestly, they're super handy. I don't wear one on a regular basis, but there are many times when I'm doing some sort of sporting or outdoor activity where I'm not wearing regular clothing, but then I need to carry my wallet and phone and things with me. So I've found that it's quite useful for that. And I again want to apologize to my viewers in English-speaking countries other than the United States. I don't know why we call it a fanny pack. I don't like the name either, but that's what we call it. You know, hip pack, waist pack, bum pack, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's what it is. I also want to point out quickly that I didn't come up with the concept of putting a gun in a fanny pack. I used to own, back in like the early 90s, a fanny pack that was made to carry a gun. This is not a new concept, and I haven't done anything revolutionary here, but it's the first one I've made for myself. So before I really show you the details of the pack, let me explain why I feel the need to carry a gun sometimes. I am an ultramarathon runner, and I do a lot of running on trails in the swamps in southwest Florida mostly, and I spend a lot of my time by myself in pretty remote areas. Hey, I want to interrupt this video briefly to let you know that I'm going to be doing a 50-mile run in May of 2022 in the Florida Keys, and as part of that run I am raising funds for the Cancer Foundation of the Florida Keys. This is a foundation that provides financial support and other kinds of support to residents at the Florida Keys who are impacted by cancer. If you know anything about the Keys, it's a beautiful tropical paradise, and you know, a lot of wealthy people live there, but there are people of normal means who live there, and it's a pretty inconvenient place to live if you are struggling with a disease of that sort. A lot of medical services are a pretty long and inconvenient drive away. There's lots of traffic problems because it's basically one way in and out of the island chain. And there's loads of other inconveniences. So people like me who enjoy going down there and playing in paradise might take for granted what some people may have to endure who either choose to live there or that's, you know, where they're from and they want to spend their lives. So I don't have to tell you how badly cancer can impact one's life. We probably all know somebody who has been impacted or has died from cancer. So if you'd like to help me raise money for this very worthy foundation, I would appreciate any help you can provide. There is a link in the description below. Go right now, click on it and donate. No donation is too small. Anything you contribute will help, and I greatly appreciate your help. Thanks. In my entire life, I've seen 4 Florida Panthers. One was about 35 years ago, and I've seen the last 3 within the last year and a half. I live in an area where there's a pretty high concentration of Florida Panthers. Sadly, that's not because their population is growing, it's because their environment is shrinking because of us. But be that as it may, there's greater opportunities to interact with panthers. To my understanding, there's never been a documented attack of a person by a Florida Panther, and I'll be very surprised if that doesn't change. I also have encountered bears on the trails that I run, and I've, of course, seen many alligators. I'm not really concerned about any of those animals attacking me. However, you know, in the very unlikely circumstance that I accidentally cornered a Florida panther or a bear with cubs or something, having some means of protecting myself definitively is important to me. And to be quite frank, I've had encounters with people that were a little bit nerve-wracking too. So for those reasons and others, I exercise my right to carry a concealed firearm. I have a concealed carry permit. A quick note on that for those of you who are kind of maybe more gun people and live in other states, Florida does not allow open carry, as far as I know, under any circumstances. So in your state, it might be completely legal for you to carry a gun openly in a holster while you're out in the woods somewhere. Even if that were feasible or legal for me here, it may not be the best way to go when I'm running, but it's not legal for me to do here. I have to carry with a concealed carry permit and the gun has to be concealed. So something like this is a great unobtrusive way for me to carry a gun without it being obvious that I'm carrying a gun. Those of you who know, will see things like the strap and the zippers and probably realize that I'm packing heat here, but it doesn't scream gun, especially with maybe the pattern of fabric that I chose for this. So this gives me a way to do that legally and safely, and it provides an option for me to protect myself. If you aren't authorized to carry a gun, don't want to carry a gun, don't like guns or whatever, you could also use a pack of this style to carry maybe bear spray, or somebody I was running with recently was carrying a very loud, very small air horn. That might be an effective way to frighten off wildlife, for example. So if you wanted to keep something in a separate compartment that protected it and made it easy to access without having to shuffle around your other things in your bag, that might be a good use for a pack of this style. The point of this is that I'm not necessarily recommending that you carry a firearm. That's a personal decision that you have to make and within the laws and guidelines of where you live. But where I live, this is the best option for me. And also for the gun folks, yeah, a .38 snub nose is probably not the best choice if I do encounter a bear that wants to kill me, but it's probably better than just screaming at it. So this pack is essentially a duplicate of the previous fanny pack, as I mentioned earlier. The previous one was made out of 400 denier nylon pack cloth and only had one pocket. The new one is made out of X-Pack VX07 fabric, and the pattern is Prime 1 Camo Abyss. I got this fabric from Ripstop By The Roll. They have a great selection of X-Pack fabric. This is my first time working with this fabric, and I really enjoyed working with it. I love the end result. I'll have an affiliate link in the description below if you want to check out some of their offerings. All of the thread in this pack is V69 nylon thread, and someone will probably ask what needle I used. I don't know, and I used like 3 different machines to sew it, so whatever needles were in the machines at the time. On this pack I added a front zipper pocket. This is sized specifically to carry my iPhone. This is an 11 Pro Max, I think, and fits that perfectly. X-Pack is supposedly either 100% waterproof or at least highly water resistant. I think it's listed as waterproof, but either way it should provide adequate protection, mostly from sweat when running here in Florida. Sweat's a big issue. I did a 20-mile run a couple of days ago with this pack, and everything was bone dry inside. It was perfect. The zipper for this front pocket is a YKK number 8 zipper. It is not an AquaGuard zipper, and I have covered it with a storm flap to try to keep moisture out. The main pocket also has a number 8 YKK zipper, but this one is an AquaGuard zipper. The main compartment is just one big pocket. It's lined on the front with 400 denier pack cloth in gray, and also on the back. In between the back of the main compartment and the gun compartment, there's a sheet of thin foam. I actually got that foam as it was packing foam on an inflatable paddleboard that I bought. It came with a huge amount of foam wrapped around it, so I kept that to use for projects like this. There's no liner in the bottom. It's just a single layer of the XO7 fabric. I used heat shrink tubing on the zippers, on the front zipper and the main zipper. I added some paracord pulls and then put heat shrink tubing around the pulls and the paracord just to provide an easier grip and also to make them a little bit quieter. And then on the gun compartment zippers, there's no paracord because I won't really be using the zippers to open the pouch most of the time, but I added the heat shrink tubing just to make them quieter since I'm mostly going to be wearing this pack while running. For the back of the pack, I used spacer mesh in this tan color, mostly because I had some laying around, but I like the look of it. And the binding is mil-spec 4088 binding. On the wings where the waist strap attaches, I sewed in some PALS spacing on the webbing to attach accessories with. I like to keep a carabiner on here to hang my truck key on, for example. On the other side, I'm using a Fidlock bottle carrier. I'll put a link to this in the description if you want to check it out. This is the one that's made for textiles, so it attaches to PALS webbing and other webbing and other circumstances you could attach it. And it attaches a special bottle with magnets. I got this specifically for mountain biking. I have a bike mount also, and the idea is that I can switch bottles from the pack to the bike. But I haven't yet made my pack for mountain biking, so I thought I'd try it on this. It is also nice if I wanted to go on a leisurely hike, or maybe while I'm fishing or something, I could wear this pack and carry some water with me. I did run a couple miles with it, with the bottle. It's okay, but I probably wouldn't use it as my primary source of fluid while running. To access the gun compartment, I've sewn a loop of mil-spec 17337 webbing, the same as the webbing that the waist strap is made out of. I've sewn that into the seam where the zipper attaches to the bag under the binding. To access the gun compartment, you can just grab that loop and pull. Other gun carrying packs of this sort often will just rip completely open. By rip, I mean rip open the zippers. The design of this pack, I wanted to keep it as low profile as possible, and as a result of that, it doesn't really open fully with a simple tug. I'm not planning on getting into a quick draw competition with anyone, so for me it works well. I can easily get it open enough to access the firearm. I don't need it to flop open completely. To hold my revolver, I sewed in the shape of the revolver in neoprene, so the back panel is neoprene, and then this, holster section is also neoprene. This is just cheap neoprene that I got from a big box fabric store. It's nothing particularly special. Behind the neoprene, between the neoprene and the spacer mesh, there's a layer of clear vinyl, kind of like shower curtain clear vinyl. And that's just to provide some additional moisture protection for the gun. This video is about this bag, not about the gun I carry in it, but somebody's going to ask, so for the record, this is empty. This is a Taurus Ultralite 38 Special. This is my choice for carry in this application because it's extremely lightweight, which is great when I'm running long distances. I don't need any extra weight on me if I can help it. It's a powerful enough cartridge relative to its size. I could have a much more powerful cartridge, but I'd have to carry a lot more weight for that. And being a revolver, it's dead reliable, so if it gets dirty or sweaty, I'm not worried about it not functioning. And shooting 38 plus P in this is not the most comfortable experience ever.
Ow. I do not like that. Like that.
All right, one more. Come on, one more. Okay. So that's my second fanny pack. This one packing the punch of being able to carry a defensive weapon. I hope you found something about this project interesting or informative. Again, if you want to make something like this, please refer to my previous video. If you can make that pack, I'm confident you can figure out the necessary steps to add that back pocket to add the firearm. It's pretty basic construction. If you have questions about it, feel free to post them in the comment section below. You can also contact me by email. Follow me on Instagram. You can send me a message that way too. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. If you really like what I'm doing, purchasing merchandise from the spring link below or the shelf where you see some products, that's always a big help. And also just clicking like helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for not killing me.